Hello everybody, welcome to the end of Schwarzenegger season. We've been going at this for 2 months. It's time to end it. And what better way to end it than with an epic science fiction action film called Dun 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 Dun. Of course, it's Terminator 2. A lot of people say this is better. It may well be better. It's technically better. I'm sure it is. But again, as I said before, when I watch this, it's my favourite. When I watch the first one, that's my favourite. This doesn't have the tone or the vibe of the first film. It is more light-hearted, a little bit more comedy put in there. The action is big. The action is fantastic. You do have a little bit of that vibe from the first film, like at the end when they're in that big like steelworks factory, and then at various other points throughout the film. But overall, it doesn't have that same tone and vibe of the first one. Then again, 1984 is a different place than 1991. A great cast: Arnold, of course, now the Saviour. Robert Patrick, who in a fight would have his head ripped off and shoved up his own arse by Arnold. But that's what, for me, makes it work. He is an ordinary looking dude. And he kicks the shit out of Arnold. You have Linda Hamilton, buff. Because Linda Hamilton from the first film wouldn't last 5 minutes. You have Edward Furlong, who at times is an annoying little shit. I'll give you that. He is an annoying little prick sometimes. But other times, I don't mind him. You have lots of action from the first time that they meet in what do you call it? At the back of the shopping mall, when they're both walking down a corridor and Arnold says, "Get down." Now, I wonder if when you watched this for the first time back in 91, what was your feeling? Did you think Robert Patrick was the good guy and Arnold was the bad guy? Because I can't remember the first time I watched this, and I can't remember what my first impression of that was. It's just another film like you know T2 when you come out the womb. But what must that have been like in the cinema to see that? Arnold and the cop. Anyone saw this back in 91? Please tell me. You have special effects that are actually special. And even now, all these years later, they still special. Probably the one that looks the least impressive is when T-1000's chasing John Connor and Arnold's on the bike, and then he shoots him and it blows up. And then he walks out all silvery and then turns back into Robert Patrick. That looks a little bit ropey, but still better than a lot of stuff today. But the rest of it, when that security guard walks on the checkered floor and he's looking up at his cup of coffee for his playing cards, and then it just comes in, looks impressive. When T-1000's at John Connor's foster parents and he kills Xander Berkeley. You just see the knife in his finger through the milk carton at the end when he's glitching, and he's got stripes on his hand from that barrier, and he goes to Sarah Connor, call to John, and just comes out real. So that looks impressive. When he gets shot in the head and his head opens up, impressive as fuck. When he gets shot in the chest like 8 times, and then it heals and goes. That looks a little bit dodgy again, but again, still spectacular. It still is. It looks a bit dodgy, but still wow for 1991. And a lot of what you think would be CG is actually practical effects. Like when he shoots him and his head splits open and then seals up. That is actually a practical effect. A hole in the eye, a practical effect. You can go on YouTube and just type in all that kind of stuff. Terminator 2 behind the scenes. There may even be something on the disc. But yeah, the music, not just the dun 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 dun, but when T-1000's chasing, that eerie, creepy, screechy sound. The whole scene with Dyson, when it go and stop Miles Dyson from making what he's going to make, and Arnold takes that machine gun and shoots all the cops and doesn't kill anyone. Stay here, I'll be back. Just there's so many epic scenes, so many memorable scenes that I put Terminator and T2 on par with each other. I do. And at the end, when Arnold dies, I know now why you cry. It is something I cannot do. And he gets lowered into the lava, and right at the last second, up comes the thumb. That's some emotional shit right there. This is an ultimate DVD with all kinds of stuff on the back, and has a big fat book. It's got 2 DVDs, and I put my Blu-ray in it. It's like this scene, that scene right there. There's a similar scene in Terminator Genesis that just looks dog shit, and this looks phenomenal. Like Arnold puts his hand out, cuts it, rips it off. That looks like a strong arm. Whereas in Terminator Genesis, when the acid falls on him, it's like, here's my arm. It's a phenomenal film. I love it. And with that concludes Schwarzenegger season. I've had a blast over the last 2 months doing this. I still have a good chunk of Arnold films left that I could do this maybe next year again and do the films I haven't done this time, like Predator, Conan the Destroyer, Red Sonja, Last Action Hero, Twins. There's quite a few I could do. So Arnold season is back. Something cheesy like that. Anyway, thank you for watching. If anyone has, I'll see you in the next video.